Welcome to
Episodic breakdown.
Entertainment. I am Batgirljamie,
I'm Joshua Danger.
and we are here to. I'm here to tell you I still got those digital codes available if you guys want one. Go over to my channel and find the video that says giving away digital copies of albums, and I will hook you up with one of them if you want one. And we're doing. What are we doing tonight, Joshua?
Episodic breakdown of episode 7 and 8, which the title is, verse 7, is the best thing he ever created. Which, let's go into the story.
Hold on a second. Season 1. Okay. This one's called, okay.
The best thing he ever created.
The thing so we can.
The story of it is the Relentless discuss Johnny's secret for the first time as a group, and not everyone sees eye to eye with it. Maya has to do some soul searching in regards to her career and loyalty, which is actually kind of a story that talks about Simon's dad.
And they're all pissed.
And Simon discovers a secret Natalie, his mom, has been keeping from his father, who obviously has a meeting with Maya, the manager of the Relentless. So let's go into it, guys.
Okay, basically, Johnny, they discuss Johnny's secret, and they're all pissed because they're all having to give a bunch of money to keep Johnny's secret about the baby, and to get Gretchen out of the band, to get what's-her-face out of the band.
Not Gretchen, Lily.
To get Lily out of the band. They're all pissed because it's
no. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's all coming.
The band as a whole, $2 million.
Actually, it's about $3 million.
No, they just said in this last episode, that it was $1 million apiece.
I thought they said $1.5 million each. So,
well, anyways,
but
they're pissed because it's coming out of their pocket, and they got to pay for his mistakes.
Yes.
And I don't blame them for being pissed, really, if you ask me.
Well, the only one that's actually pissed is Dylan. And basically
the drummer feels like he's getting the raw end of the deal for everything.
Exactly, even though he's wanting more out of it than everybody else is, which at the end of the day, you really do get what you pay for with it, because it is what it is.
Yeah, because Simon's dad comes to Maya and wants to buy her out.
No, Maya comes to him talking negotiations, which there's a lot that goes into detail.
He's trying to buy Maya, though.
Oh, yeah. But at the end of the day, a deal's a deal. And basically, and the other thing that I can't really say too much about this, but it happens a lot into episode 8. But let's just say there's some dissension amongst the ranks. And I'm not going to name names because I think we're going to go into that.
What I think is going to happen, and when we're done, we're going to tell you what we think is going to happen in the next season. There is going to be another season, but without Cameron Boyce. May he rest in peace.
Yes, which I actually kind of fell in love with this.
That they're recasting his role, which makes me very, very, very sad. That's one thing that makes me sad, is they're recasting him because he was one of my favorite characters.
Oh, and I'm actually really, really saddened by his loss, because he plays a very, very important role in this show.
Well, we'll say why in the next episode.
But
okay, so basically, Gretchen, basically, what's his face, wife, Adam's wife
Yeah.
is watching over Gretchen somehow without her knowing that it's her.
Well, yeah, exactly.
She's the one that's coming to the school talking to her all the time.
No, that's not her.
Yeah, it is.
That's God, what's her face?
No, because she
one
was,
that's
no, because she was
one
there
that's
with Gretchen at the
in the last
game,
episode.
at the game. But that chick
Yeah.
you're talking about, she was with the Relentless. Over there where they were playing their show.
Yeah, that's not Adam's wife. I know who you're talking about, and I can't think of her name. Capricorn. That's her name. She's always the one that's always there when Gretchen has something going on. Yeah, I had to IMDb this shit a little bit here, so but at the end of the day, everything that happens is happening for a reason.
On IMDb.
Huh?
I hate how the pictures are so small on IMDb.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, but that wasn't who was with her.
Well, Adam's wife does show up for the game, but she's basically been. But character you're talking about is also
Capricorn
the other
was
teacher.
With the Relentless. She was at the after party.
Yes, but she's also been in the teaching classes and becoming friends with Gretchen through the teachings and shit. Which that's why I was actually saying everything that she does is basically everything that's revolving around Johnny. Because she was in the episode 6 or was it episode 5? I think it was episode 5 where she showed up basically saying, oh, the Relentless are there in here together. And basically that's where the tabloids were actually going around and basically saying that Johnny's screwing around on freaking Gretchen and blah, blah, blah. And she's the one that's actually leading the force.
And I think in episode 7... I think that's what we're talking about. Girl,
yep.
This is the episode where she goes on Hit Parader's TV show, Lily, and says she's quitting the band. Announces she's quitting the band, and that the Hit Parader Festival is going to be her last show.
And Matt Pinfield's the one that has the actual interview with her. And basically, he knows that something's up with her, and he's afraid to push the limit.
Means that she's being kicked out of the band. He knows he kind of has a feeling she's getting kicked out of the band.
Pretty much, and that's where everything kind of.
Oliver Ostergaard, or whatever his name is,
A.K.A. Ryan Hurst.
He's the one that. He's the one that saw Simon's dad. Simon is Cameron Boyce's character. May he rest in peace.
And the voice of the Flux. Let's just say that much.
The Flux don't play anymore in the episodes.
Yeah. Which I was okay with that. I was like, But at the end of the day, everything that happens in episode...
He had epilepsy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But that's beyond the point. We're here to talk about the actual show, not what he was going through before he passed. But at the end of the day, everybody's saying, everything that he's doing, and basically you find out that Over It All is pretty much over in episode 7. And basically it's all because of Dom, a.k.a. Randy Blythe's character in the show.
Dom?
He's the long dreadlocky looking motherfucker.
Oh yeah, that guy?
A.k.a. the lead singer of...
What was that band, Over It All?
Over It All. And basically...
It's because of him. You'll find something out, and we'll talk about what happens between him and his band in season 8. But
No, actually it happens in episode 7. But basically, everything that happens with that band is basically like, okay, fuck you.
But what majorly happens with that band happens in episode 8.
The guitar player actually says "fuck you," and
Yeah, but
that
happens in episode 8.
No, that was at the end of 7, actually, because they actually
then they
Then Lily's actually sitting there talking to Oliver Ostergaard, aka Simon's dad, in episode 7, and basically she's like, "I just want."
From Boone, Elias's character.
That doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, she's like, "I just want to create music, whether it's with or without the Relentless." And basically, she goes to him, which you find out more in episode 8 because of
she tells him
her manager. No.
Because if you think about it,
she basically says, "You know what? I'm willing to come here to do my thing." And basically, she puts it out there like, "Okay, this is like corn. Basically, anything that I do, you're gonna need me because I'm a Lotus." And and basically, I don't need you. I already have Elias, aka Boone's character.
She's
Mark Boone
to be able to work
character.
for both them companies.
Exactly, and try to
merge
both of them.
For both of them, but that happens in the second episode. That happens in episode 8 at the beginning.
No, that was actually was it?
Yeah, that was at the very beginning of the episode. Before that, he's sitting there talking to the first episode, and the episode 7, he's sitting there talking to Lily about getting her own gig.
Oh yeah.
Because Lily's leaving the band, so Lily Mayflower's wanting to join their competition.
Pantheon Records.
The competition to her, the Relentless's record label.
That's Acadian Records, but at the end of the day, everything's happening for a reason, and it's all filing up perfectly. And are we missing anything else? And basically, Simon confronts his mother about why she's still talking to his dad.
Oh, that happens in episode 8.
Oh, that was episode 7. It actually happens at the end of 7, not the beginning of 8, because everything that's happening revolves around the festival in the beginning of 8. So basically, he goes up to her and basically says, "You know what? Why are you still talking to my dad?" And she's like, "I want him to see what our son is doing." And basically, it's like, okay. And he's like, "I don't need it. I don't need his approval. Fuck him," is basically how he's going off and saying, "You know what? I don't need him because I can create something as great on my own with you, and you shouldn't even be seeking his approval." And basically, everything that happens with that basically leads up to episode 8.
This pisses me off.
Okay.
There's a other show called Paradise City, so it's mixing it up when I try to get the.
Yes, I know there is another one that's called Paradise City, which I was actually lucky. Yeah. But what did you think of episode 7, and what did you take away from it?
I think Johnny's gonna. I think the Relentless is gonna pay for what Johnny's doing.
Actually, I find episode 8, you find out a lot more about Dylan and his self-destructive behavior.
You mean the drummer?
The drummer. His name's Dylan. And you find out more about his self-destruction and that shit. Because he's already pissed at Johnny. He's like, "I would rather Johnny be gone than Lily." Because You know, even going back to the actual movie, Dylan's always had a fucking thing for Lily, and basically it's like, okay, we're two self-destructive assholes. And it's always been like, okay, even though it's played by two different characters, he's always kind of had a thing for her, and basically he's like, I would rather see Johnny gone than Lily.
But Johnny's gone, the whole band's gone, because you lose the voice of the band.
Which, yeah, you pretty much do, but at the end of the day, we're going to take away everything, and basically his self-destruction is happening in episode 8. So do you want to switch? Do you want to go to episode 8, which is actually called What's Your Last Name?
No, I gotta pull up the thing for the recap for
Well, I basically said, well, and because I pretty much narrowed everything.
The episodes is really short.
Yeah, I know, but we've pretty much hit everything on the nail with it. So
they don't have good recaps for this show on here, so
they really don't have anything for this show. Period. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, okay, this is like, oh, and the show that Simon was putting on at the Macombo.
That show did amazing, and Lily goes to it. Lily goes to it and sees the band and wants to.
No. I'm talking about Simon's band.
He doesn't do a show with his band.
Basically, he was actually putting this together at the beginning of
episode 7. Lily sees that one guy's daughter's band.
That was at the end of 8. And no, it was Lily and Maya that went to see them. But I was actually talking about the show that Simon and his little female friend were putting together for the show. And
they made that bar that lost their liquor license a lot of money, and they want to do more shows with him.
Exactly,
because
which is absolutely
how to pick bands and get bands that are going to draw in money for that club, because that club was going to lose money because they lost their liquor license, so they needed him. And so
definitely.
Much money that it made up for the loss of their liquor license, because they got a bunch of teenagers to pay a bunch of money to go to a show.
And
the band that played for that show is the one that Lily wants, that girl in her band when she makes her band.
Oh yeah,
Lily has sights on that one.
I was like, I couldn't.
Wouldn't do the Relentless show at his club. That's his daughter.
And that was also the one that basically said, we're not going to do the show with Over It All because, and basically threw them out.
Over It All screwed themselves because the lead singer is a prick.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And the one guy, and now we're in episode 8, and this guy, at the beginning of that episode, they egg Gretchen's car and egg her because they found out that Lily's leaving the band, and they blame his fans go and attack her with eggs because they're blaming her for the reason she's leaving the band, and they don't want her to leave the band because they like her. She's got a lot of fans.
And that's the one thing that I'm always looking at, and I'm like, dude, honestly, that's why you never date a regular person outside of the music scene if you're a musician. Because it's always like, okay.
That's why you never fuck around with people in your band, and you never date outside of famous people.
Exactly, because it never really lasts because
they can't handle your fame.
Exactly.
It draws them into the fame. The Relentless play their final show with Lily's band in this episode. Johnny dances with his demons at a hotel. Gretchen has an encounter that will change everything. Simon finally gets to meet his idol. So Simon finally meets Johnny for the first time at the end of the episode. But the Relentless go and play their final show. Simon
Which is actually
his mom about why she's calling his dad in the beginning of the episode.
Which the actual festival, the last show for Lily's called Hit Parader Fest.
Hit Parader.
Hit Parader Fest.
So they play the Hit Parader
festival.
Fest. And Maya gets Simon to promote the show in this episode.
Oh yeah, which
tells him she wants him to be the street team for promoting Hit Parader Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lily. Then they go and they play their Hit Parader Fest. And after Johnny goes to check into his hotel, and he gets the wrong key to the hotel and ends up in Lily's hotel
which
room.
Capricorn does that on purpose.
And Lily wants him to watch them have a three-way, watch her have a four-way.
Four-way.
Her girlfriend and two other girls.
And okay, and this is
gives
where
her a condom and says you can play with yourself, basically.
Okay, and then, but this is where it gets really, really fucking cringy, because at the end of that part, basically Lily's
up his condom with his sperm in it, put it in ice.
Yes, so basically
it's
she's
cringy.
trying to it's absolutely
it's
cringy.
So I'm thinking she's gonna try to impregnate herself to force Johnny to put her back in the band. Or to screw Johnny
pretty
over,
much.
or screwing her over. Then Gretchen has an encounter with Hobson's character, the angel dude, Gabriel.
Yeah, Gabriel.
And he tells her that something's gonna happen to her.
Exactly, which I've got to say,
this is while their festival's going on. She's doing her soccer team's championship game, which I think they win.
I think you're right. I think they do win.
Then
but at the end
with, what's his face's wife? What's the guy's name? So Adam's wife.
Yeah.
Adam, which is the guy who owns the record label's wife.
No, that's not who owns the record label. That's actually the Relentless's manager.
Well, anyways, she leaves with her, and that's where Faith's grandma shows up. And was gonna frickin' bust him because they didn't. She gets on the phone with Elias and cusses him a good one and breaks her phone because she didn't get her money that she was promised.
Exactly.
She thought she was supposed to.
Even though
so she was pissed and cussed him out.
Even though they didn't take the kid to the adoption.
Tell him that. They couldn't even tell her that because she hung up. She busted her phone in half because she was so pissed. She went like this and just went and just busted her phone right in half. And then then they tried to call her back to tell her that they still have faith. They never gave her up yet.
So there's more that leads into this.
Yeah.
Coming into next season.
Lily then she gets out of the car and tries to talk to Gretchen. She was going to spill the beans, but Gretchen started having pains in her stomach and leaves.
Which I think I think she knew, or she didn't know she was pregnant, and basically.
I think she's having a miscarriage, is what I think personally. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think she's having a miscarriage. Then
she goes and gets in the bathroom, and she's trying to call Johnny frantically. And Johnny's down at the Hit Parader taking photos with Simon and all the gang from the record label and all of the people from Simon's crew and his band.
Okay, but can I actually say something here and I'll go into the next segment because we're leading too much into this whole Gretchen situation and the whole whatever situation with. But at the end of the day, you have Lily's girlfriend, who actually freaking
she's kind of
who's actually working for Simon's dad secretly, and basically says, you know what? And she's like, why the fuck's my son there? And he's like, why the fuck's my son there promoting for this shit?
They don't know. He doesn't understand.
And basically, he's like, dude, fuck this. And she's like, everything she's doing is basically leading into season 2, which basically says, you know what? My son's working with the Relentless. My son's working with the
He
Relentless.
doesn't
His
want
mom's
nothing to do
working
with
with
his
the
son, and he
Relentless.
wants his son away.
Exactly. And basically, but yeah, he's got Lily's girlfriend basically managing the situation and basically saying, which I think leads to bad things in season 2. That's what I think is going to happen in season 2, which is going to lead to bad things, and I think is actually going to be Lily's band's going to have something to do with Nita Strauss's character and the guitar player from the one band and everything else.
But I think
and Lily's going to end up having a fucking baby.
I think Lily's going to impregnate herself to get rid of Gretchen.
Even if Gretchen's not already gone after the first few episodes.
I think Gretchen's going to be gone because she's going to find out about that because she's going to have to be told because she's pregnant. And she ain't going to give up her baby like the other girl did.
Even though she's probably going to miscarriage, and she's basically going to say, "Fuck Johnny, I'm done with this shit." And this is why everything is done over with, and basically, and I think it's going to end up.
Situation and Lily is causing her to have a miscarriage, and she don't even know she's pregnant.
And I think it's also going to get Johnny to just fucking give up after season 2, which I think season 2 is basically going to be the end of everything.
No, but I think oh yeah, and the drummer, he was snorting coke and there was some girl that he told to leave, but she didn't leave. She just rolled over and went back to sleep. He was there doing drugs, and remember the drummer fell and hit his head, and that was the end.
And I think he's going to end up dying.
I think he's going to end up dead at the beginning of the next season.
I definitely see that.
I can see that happening. But that's all we got to say for this episode. That's pretty much all that happened. It was a very good, and I highly, highly recommend you watching if you haven't. Go watch it.
And I was going to say, if you need to watch it, you can actually find this on Prime Video. It's a free. It's included with your Amazon Prime video subscription. So me and Batgirl, we highly suggest this show, and recommend this show. If you got any questions, comment in the description, and we will talk to you in our next video. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and become a member of the Dead Fam. Hit that bell so you get notified every time we upload. Friday we'll be having an episode of The Mighty Ducks, the Game Changers. I don't have to do the baby shower stuff. That's not till the next weekend. That's not this weekend. This weekend's just the birthday party, which won't interfere. So that being said, hit the thumbs up if you like this type of stuff, and we will see you Friday for the next episode. Thank you for watching. Later, everybody, and have a great day. Thank you for watching, and we appreciate you, and we'll see you